Today on the Topping Show, Bud Light business blunder causes 2 bottling plants and 645 employees to lose their jobs, while Yangling announces their first MLS partnership. AOC calls for change to the Supreme Court now that she doesn't have a majority. Chris Christie bashes Trump and DeSantis. YouTube bans Theo Von's interview with Roseanne Barr. Joe Rogan calls out Bud Light. A professor fails a student for using the term biological woman on a study about men and women's sports. Raising Cane's expands into New York. Monster Energy to acquire Bang Energy. Spotify may add video capabilities. Apple to decrease the production of their Nerd goggles, Apple Vision Pro. And Indiana Jones crashes and burns. All that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Today's episode of Topping Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder release twice today. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. Also, for the whole month of July, any project you do, you'll get a free 50 caliber musket courtesy of Topping Technologies. Click the video description to learn a little bit more. Now, going on to the business part of the podcast, you have Apple cutting back on production of their Nerd goggles. The Vision Pro goggles that they said that they're making. I actually did a poll on LinkedIn, and right now, out of about 75 votes, 50% of people categorize them as nerd goggles, 25% they're moderately innovative, and 25% they're innovative in terms of what is this product to the public. So I don't want to say I was right, but thus far, statistically speaking, of that small sample size on LinkedIn, I am right thus far. Now, specifically, Apple is going to cut the production drastically. And this is the hilarious part. Apple's claiming, it's due to the complexity is too much. That's why we're going to decrease production, because it's too complex. Really? Apple is a company that can somehow miraculously squeeze a phone thinner, and thinner. Their engineers are brilliant. They can cram more technology into a small little square inch than any other company I could possibly fathom, with the exception of perhaps the defense industry. But it's one of those things where that's not the real reason. And they also claim it took 7 years to make that headset, and they just unveiled it to lukewarm response about a month ago, June 5th. And an internal memo actually leaked saying that Apple expected to sell about 1 million units of the product in 2024. However, we found that a Chinese contract manufacturer by the name of Luxshare, they actually just have a contract for only 400,000 units to be produced in 2024. Since in this case, they're using a direct contractor for the actual assembly of the product. They're not making it 100% in-house. They do that with a lot of the products, as many companies do. Now, it's one of those things where there might be some really good business applications for this technology at a $4,000 price point. Keep in mind, it's $3,500 plus tax, because you have to pay the sales tax. Let's average that to 10% depending on where you live in the United States. And then you have to pay some Apple warranty. That's going to be a couple $100 as well. So it's about $4,000 for these Nerd goggles. If I was the CEO, or if I was in charge of a defense contractor like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and you're constructing devices that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and you have an augmented reality app where you can move around the structure of, let's say, a missile or some type of complex machinery that you're building, I can certainly think that it could justify a $4,000 headset. That, for a business, there might be some real world applications in that regard. But for the average consumer to spend $4,000 on these Nerd goggles is ridiculous. It's laughable. Again, you already have the Oculus Pro, which Facebook bought out that company a couple years back, and I believe that's $300 to $400. I know the big deal with the Nerd goggles from Apple is that you can see through them. They're kind of translucent, and you could do extra stuff, I guess. I saw the infomercial, and it's pretty lackluster to me. And again, when it comes to all this stuff, especially if you're under 18, like if it's a kid, read a damn book. Go outside. It won't kill you. Quite the opposite. You'll actually gain a lot in life to do that. But again, I think Apple overshot the consumer adoption rate for this premium product. I think they'd have to if you cut the price in half, even $2,000 for that. Because again, for $2, and I'm not joking, for $2 you can get like a little cardboard thing you slide a cell phone in, and then you have the cell phone glued to your eyes for someone who wants to immerse themselves in that dystopian world, that's $2. And this does a little bit more. Yes, I understand that, but is it $4,000 more or $3,998 more than strapping yourself on your eyeballs? I'm pretty pessimistic. I mean, Apple does need to do something because they're kind of sitting on their laurels, some might say, in terms of they came out with a smartphone years ago, which, yes, we all know by now revolutionized the whole world of technology, especially for the telecom industry. They actually broke the network because when they first debuted, because they're trying to push so much data through. Didn't make AT&T look good because that was an exclusivity contract they had at the time, but it did force the telecom providers to build out the infrastructure so that you could have 5G, 4G, 3G, double wide banana V, Falcon, whatever you want to call it, whatever you really care for the vernacular. They had to build it out so that now you can get the YouTube and all stuff directly to your phone wherever you are most of the time. So they did actually, that was a huge moment, pivotal moment in technological and technology history. But they've been sitting there and basically collecting royalties on just making the phones a little bit better every year to really continue to be an innovator. And again, they hit the $3 trillion market valuation. That's an astronomical business achievement. But if they want to keep that momentum, they can't just keep coming out with the same stuff every year. So I applaud them for trying something new and different, but I don't think this is it. And who knows? Time shall tell. Maybe in a couple months, every American will just sit on their couch for 12 hours a day, strapped with the nerd goggles to their head, and they'll somehow be happy. Yeah, nevertheless, as you can probably tell, that is sarcasm, folks. I'm here all week. I'll let you teach lessons, perhaps. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. We're trying to get up to 3,000 subscribers in July, so if you could take the time to click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. The feedback greatly helps the channel out as we try to get the production better and better and better over time. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.